Hello and welcome to this week's WandaVision recap show. I'm your host Grant Liston, a very bored Englishman. And as always, if you haven't seen this week's episode of WandaVision, please go away and watch it and then come back here afterwards. Thank you, because boy howdy this one ended on a doozy. Admittedly though, before the end, we'll get there, don't you worry. Before we got to that end moment, I kind of felt this week's one wasn't as good as usual. It was kind of a pace killer. Like, we started off pretty good, and we just climbed and got so good. The anticipation grew so much. I can barely speak, it was that good. And this one kind of full stopped it, and it was like, stopped all of that momentum until that ending, and holy crap, I can't wait till next week. So I've said it enough times now. Spoilers. It was Agatha all along. That song is going to be stuck in my head for the next several hours, and I don't care. So, it turns out that the nosy neighbour Agnes is in fact the witch Agatha Harkness. And as much as I would love to take credit for that theory is actually brought to me by my lovely little sister Lily. So hi Lily, if you're watching, thank you for bringing me this nerd news, and it's always in the comments below, so thank you. So yeah, Hydra's looking pretty crap now, doesn't it? Okay, like, I was well off with Hydra, but I threw that theory out there as a maybe. You know, it was just when I saw all the, the darkened room and like the science and military operation, my mind just went Hydra, okay? I've been watching a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I kind of got carried away. With the rest of this week's episode, as I say, it kind of felt like a pace killer, and it just so happens that the theme of this week's episode was like The Office or Modern Family type of sitcom, which I've never seen an episode of Modern Family, and every time I've watched or tried to watch The Office, UK or US, it's not for me. It's a very cringy comedy, and I don't see the appeal, but I get it, it's got its fans, and I'm not discrediting to you if you like it, it's not for me. And I get what they were going for, so Wanda's decided to have a me day, and she's having one-on-one conversations with the camera, like I'm doing right now, where she's she's losing control of her powers. Like, she's expanded the hex so much that now she can't keep track of what's what. So the milk keeps changing, the twins' games console keeps changing, the wallpaper re-rolls itself back up. The effects were incredible. I'll never discredit that. They were great. But it was very, very slow. The side story with Darcy and Vision going on a road trip, I suppose, it was very, very it was just information. I wouldn't say it was too much, but for the way this show was going, the momentum just kind of had an abrupt halt. And I've got to admit, even some of the reveals really didn't stick their landings this week. And we're talking mainly, I actually held a Twitter poll, as you can see here. Who do you reckon Monica Rambeau and Jimmy Woo were going to meet? And there were some strong cases. We had Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four as a way to possibly bring the Fantastic Four into the Marvel Universe. Someone suggested Rocket Raccoon, and I thought that's silly, but hey, stranger things have happened. Blue Marvel was another one that was mentioned. Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. My personal favourite was actually Shuri from Black Panther. Bring Wakanda into the situation. Maybe she was in the States because they've got a facility in, I can't quite remember, it's been a while since I've seen Black Panther, but the facility, I think it's Georgia maybe, or New Orleans. They've got a facility there that Shuri actually oversees, so maybe she could have come over and is an engineer, so could have had a nice little crossover there. But no, the reveal was Major Goodner. So maybe she's got some connection through the comic book world. I personally have never heard of her, and the music, should I say, the music swelled to such a pitch you thought, oh, who's the reveal gonna be? And it was a military person. Okay, and then they bring out this big old truck thing, and Monica's like, she's perfect, and the music goes, da-da, Trump, da-da! So, it's a big truck. Marvel Universe, we've seen the Hulk tear through a lot of big trucks. We don't care. The only good thing that came out of that truck was when it rammed into the Hex and got flung backwards. The effects were pretty damn awesome, and that's about as much praise as I can give it, because it was very lackluster. The only real other things of note that happened in this episode was Monica's now fully transformed into the superhero known as Photon, so we're going to see how that character progresses from here, and of course, Agatha. It was Agatha all along. Oh, it's embedded there. Can I just say, right, I know obviously I love the cheesiness of it, but this actress, Catherine Hayne, I don't think I've given her any credit so far, apart from referring to her as the nosy neighbour Agnes. But she absolutely chews up that scenery so bad, so good should I say. She's an incredible actress and an incredible character in this show. And that whole ending bit with the song It Was Agatha All Along, that end bit where she goes, and I also killed Sparky. I'm dying over it, it's brilliant. I mean, wow, I was giggling like a nutter for a good 20 minutes afterwards before obviously coming here to film this. She's clearly having the time of her life filming this, and well done to her. She's absolutely stolen the show here. Admittedly, this ending is the real reason I can't wait for episode 8, but I kind of wish the rest of this episode had, you know, a bit more oomph. So final thoughts now are going to go into the next week's episode, episode 8, because we've got the director Hayward of S.M.R.T. He wants to launch a full-scale attack on the Hex and kill Wanda to recover Vision's vibranium body. Photon bumped into Pietro, Quicksilver, and they had a bit of a... Oh, that was it, yeah, they had an after-credit scene finally. It's been said so many times, and I'm just going to echo it as well. What is with the 10 minutes of credits? You think you've got another 10 minutes of episode left, and you don't, and it's really, it is by far the worst thing of the show. I feel like I've been very negative this week, and I do apologise. So let's end on a bit of a fun one. Let's talk more conspiracy theories, because we love conspiracy theories. Now, I hear a lot of chatter about a possible second villain, maybe someone higher up than Agatha. Agatha, all along. I can't get it out of my head, I'm sorry. So, who is this secondary villain going to be? And a lot of people have said it's going to be Mephisto, which is a very, very bold choice to go for, but would make a lot of sense, especially because Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch will be in Doctor Strange's Multiverse Madness, blah blah, whatever that film's called. So maybe Mephisto plays a very, very important part here. Now, of course, who is Mephisto in this universe? I'm going to throw a curveball out there. Could it possibly be Hayward? Could it be a double bluff? Obviously, he's putting on this big show, causing all this fear and all this drama for something that, quite simply, if they had just left well enough alone, all be good. We don't quite know. So that's my curveball one. But I think the more concrete one to go for would be the fact that Agnes, aka Agatha, always refers to her husband in almost every episode. Rupert, I think his name was. We've never seen him. We've never seen the husband. Could this be the smoke and shadows of Mephisto in the background? It's something to chew on. But let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Feel free to like the video, share the video, leave me those dirty comments, and I'll see you next week for episode 8. Take care now.